All right, what is going on YouTube? This is Cash Howard, your coach of the New York Nido Kings. Bringing you another battle. This one takes place week 3 versus the Seattle Sharingan Serperiors. The Seattle Sharingan Serperiors, coached by Lindo. Lindo is of no surprise to anyone. I battled him in season 2 and in season 3. The outcome of season actually battled him twice. Actually, I can actually say I battled Lindo twice, both seasons, because I had to battle Lindo around the middle of season 2, and then he was my opponent in the playoffs in season 2, and I lost both of those matches. Season 2, during the actual regular season, I got Lindo down to a 1-0. At the time, Lindo had not gotten a single loss, went undefeated until the semifinals of the playoffs where he finally lost. But up to that point, I was the first person to get him as far down to a 1-0. Then season 3, I started off fighting Lindo, playing a little bit better than I did in season 2 by a lot. Got paralyzed at a certain point, which I feel at that point had cost me the game. I then had to fight Lindo again in the semifinals of season 3. This time again, I wasn't able to do much, down to a 3-0. So, as fate has it, I have to fight Lindo again. Ironically, with all these weird number sequences thing, Lindo my third opponent this season, which is better to get it out the way now than much later. You guys already know the squad for the New York Nido Kings. I do have names for everyone. I actually sat down. Here, I'm going to actually pull out my little sheet with the names on it. I actually gave names, I believe, to everyone this time around. And they could potentially change given certain situations. You never know. Maybe I came up with a better name down the line for something else. But we do have names for everyone. So, let's go with the roll call. We got Zygarde 50%, who is Coach R-Type. You do guys remember that was the same name that we have for Tornadus Darien last season. I always decide to name the what's supposed to be like the star of the team based off of my assistant coach, who ironically is missing in action, which is kind of funny. Next we got Volcanion, who is called Gabe, and it's named Gabe because it is of its move Steam Eruption. Gabe being the man in charge of Steam, the platform, haha. Raikou being named Raijin, another word for thunder. We got Ramen Jr., the Tangrowth. Little shout outs to my brosif, X Chris Cobain. We got Mill X, the Scolipede, named after one of my real life best friends, who ironically did not want to be Scolipede, but does not get a choice in the matter. Azelf named Kusanagi based off of the lore. Apparently that is what Azelf is supposed to represent anyway. I'm stealing someone else's nickname for Tentaku, Liam's Bane. Diancie is named Serenity. You guys remember I had Mega Diancie last season. We named it Moon Princess. So I felt it was fitting that regular Diancie will name it Serenity. Bronzong is named Keep Tolan, another nickname I have stolen. Kabalion named Kobe because my friends feel it looks like a goat and they feel like Kobe is the goat. I highly disagree, but who am I to care? Staraptor named after one of our what's the word I want to use? Faithful viewer in the Habib. Who's? And then we got Blissey, the Fat Princess. We actually got names. Okay. Moving along from the name thing as I just went through the whole roster, you guys can see that we can't change Z Crystal users unless we drop those pokes. So forever till the end of time, Zygarde 50%, Scolipede, so Zygarde, Scolipede, and Kabalion are the Z Crystal holders. And our opponent this week is, as I said, Lindamore. Here's a quick scope at his team, and it is a scary one at that. We got Lando Therian, Kiram Black, Zapdos, former member of the New York Needle Kings back in Season 2, Celebi, Jellicent, Fortress, Blaziken, Drapion, Miltank, another former member back in Season 2 for the New York Needle Kings, Gramble, Gigalith, and Lycanroc Dayform. Now, you would think I would remember why I would bring what I'm going to bring when I show it to you guys. At this point, I don't remember why, but I do remember sitting down thinking really hard on the team composition because I don't want to keep bringing the same pokes, which usually happens to me. It happened a lot during Season 3. I kept running the same pokes, so it became kind of easy to prepare for me. Even though I was able to fight very hard, I still didn't like bringing the same pokes often. I always want to try out some new things. So this time when I was building the team, it literally went, I made Diancie, I made Bronzong, I believe I made Scolipede, then Zygarde. Then I was literally debating between Raikou and Azelf and Tentacruel and Volcanion, and I believe I flipped a coin, and this is who decided to come in. So there you guys have it. That is how I team build. So, which may explain why I have the need of an assistant coach. So we have Bronzong, we have Zygarde, we have Scolipede, Azelf, Diancie, and Tentacruel representing your New York Needle Kings versus Gigalith, Kiram Black, Jellicent, Celebi, Lando Therian, and Fortress. I do remember at least one in paper. I was expecting the Lando, I was expecting the Kiram. Those are staples. At that point, I think I literally was like, I don't know what he would bring, because Lindo does think of a lot of unique strategies for certain situations. Lindo usually not liking my teams whenever he sees he has to face it, usually gets afraid. I usually don't know why, because I'm usually more afraid than he is of me. I'm more afraid of him than he is of me. But whatever the case is, I guess we're both scared. Whatever the case is, but this is what we got. We're gonna try our best at winning. This is week 3 for the Worldwide Champions League. Your New York Needle Kings versus the Seattle Sharingan Serperiors. Alright, so there is Lindo. So I lead off with Keep Tolling the Bronzong. He leads off with Gigalith. At this point, I'm feeling confident. Because I'm like, what is this Gigalith gonna really do to me? So he leads off with Block. So even if I wanted to switch out, that no longer is an option for me. I go for the Psychic. I was kind of testing the waters. I got the crit. As I said, I was kind of testing the waters. I no longer have a way to get out. My other moves currently for Bronzong cannot hurt Gigalith as much as my Psychic. He sets up the Stealth Rocks. At this point, I'm kind of afraid, so I'm just trying to kill this thing. I don't... as you guys are seeing, I'm not doing much damage. He goes for the Gravity, and at this point, I'm like, what is Lindo doing? I kind of know what he's doing, but I'm kind of like, how? Like... So now I'm more panicking, just hitting more Psychics, because the way that Gravity works is that any Pokemon that are levitating, like my Bronzong, are now essentially on the ground. So picture him like just sitting on the ground right now. Which means that something like Earthquake, which usually won't be able to hit it, will hit it, and it will hit me hard because I'm weak to it. As you can see, at most, I can probably take 3 or 4 of those Earthquakes if they're about the same strength. And as you guys can see, my Psychics are not doing much. Lindo, investing heavily on special defense because we know it's not Assault Vested because of the moves it's used. Goes for the Earthquake again. At this point, I remember in the planning phase, I'm like, I don't need a Steel move. He's not going to bring most of the pokes that are weak to Steel. So I chose to go with the stab of Psychic because he universally had pokes least resisting Psychic, and he had more pokes that are resisting Steel. And as you guys are seeing, that's kind of like backfiring at me. because he's gonna go for another Earthquake right here, and I think it's enough to actually to knock off Bronzong, and it is. Keeptolan goes down. I can tell you for a fact, during this entire field between Bronzong and Gigalith, I was kind of like going, what the fuck? So out comes out Coach R-Type. The Zygarde 50%, as you guys know, R-Break is useless, does not matter. So anytime you see it, just ignore it, don't get all happy. So he does withdraw. He goes into Mario Bros, which is the Jellicent that I was able to easily figure out because of the mustache looking. I go for Coil. I didn't run Dragon Dance this week. I go for Coil, boosts my attack, my defense, and my accuracy by 1 stage each. So usually at this point I would probably click 1,000 arrows, but I know Outrage should do more damage to Jellicent. So I clicked that. You saw how it's not usually physically defensive invested, but look how much damage an Ice Beam, which I'm quad weak to. So we're kind of in a situation where he's not gonna stay in because I can kill him in this turn. Meanwhile, he probably needs that to kill me. So he goes into Ironhide, the Fortress, who will be able to resist the Dragon Outrage. Now I am locked into this move until Zygarde gets dizzy. So at the very max, it's usually 2 or 3 turns. That was the second turn. Obviously, I did not get dizzy, so it'll probably happen right now at the end of this 3rd turn of Outrage. And there it is. So he goes for the Reflect. Reflect, it makes his team essentially stronger to physical attacks. Kind of like what I'm doing right now with Zygarde, which is the reason why he put those up. At this point, I switch out. I don't want to risk it by seeing if I'll get confused or not. So I go into Tentacruel. My first mindset is to get rid of the rocks. While they don't really hinder me much, I just don't want them there. So now he goes into Jellicent. He goes into Celebi, who could kill me with Psychic. But I do believe I'm faster, so I think I clicked Ice Beam in this situation. He brings out Jellicent because I think in his mind I was going to try to Rapid Spin, which I was originally going to. Now, this is another situation, kind of like the Bronzong and Gigalith. My Tentacruel is not fit to fight Jellicent. I have 4 moves, obviously, almost every Pokemon. You can see the other move I have is Toxic Spikes. That's just for setting up purposes, so at most I can only just throw out 2 and that's it. So, he gets to recover for free. I could have swapped out freely at this point, but my mindset is I don't know what I can actually bring out at that point. Because I was obviously expecting him to attack. And because Jellicent is a Water Ghost type, that really kind of hinders me. So I kind of need to keep Tentacruel in. So I go for the second layer of Toxic Spikes. He goes for the Nightshade. I wasn't expecting that actually. Nightshade does a guaranteed 50 damage each time he uses it. Because it is based on the HP. Every battle is done at level 50. So level 50, it'll be 50 damage each turn. So as I said, the only move I can actually use on this thing is Ice Beam. My other moves being Rapid Spin, which is immune because Jellicent is a Ghost type, and I have Scald, and chances are, highly big chance, this is Water Absorb Jellicent, which means I can't hit it with a Water move. So I do switch out, because I was kind of hoping I could kind of trick him to switch out as well. I go into Mill X, the Scolipede. Takes damage from the rocks. He goes for the Nightshade, like I said, guaranteed 50. Scolipede, as you guys can see, does not have a lot of HP in the first place, so it was a bad switch on my part. So I do go back, bring back Tentacruel, can at least be a kind of a sponge and take hits. He goes for the Ice Beam. Obviously, I do resist that as well. At this point, we've seen Ice Beam, Nightshade, and Recover. At this point, I hit him back with Ice Beam, as I said, is the only move I can actually do. While if I do get a freeze, it would actually be kind of cool because it can give me a chance to swap into something else and kind of work from there. At this point, all I can really do is kind of hope he swaps out and I can like really switch out. I don't know what his last move is either, so I can't say go into and see if it's a water move because it will probably kill her in one hit. I can't go back into Zygarde because Zygarde will get killed by the Ice Beam. At this point, Scolipede will take damage from rocks that if I bring him out, the Nightshade will kill it. I don't know if this thing is carrying Shadow Balls. I don't want to bring in Aether. So as you can see there, Water Absorb accidentally. Just to test the waters, I actually did click Skull to see if it was Water Absorb or not. So at this point, literally keeping Tentacruel in, as much as I'm essentially killing it outright, is my only play, as I don't know what Lindo's last move is. So goes for the Nightshade again. Actually, no, we do know at this point what his last move is. It was Toxic, but like I said, my head at this point was not really there yet. I go into Kusanagi. I may have noticed then that it was Toxic that he went to, because he saw he did try to poison Tentacruel. So there it goes to Toxic again. I went for the substitute. I figured he may try to stop Azelf, thinking I may have been Scarfed. At this point, realizing I have the leftovers. So at this point, when I know I have a free turn to do anything I want behind the sub, I go for the Nasty Plot to set up, which will increase my special attack by 2. And hopefully at this point I can like sweep or do something. I wasn't expecting the Nightshade to actually break the substitute, but if Nightshade did not break the substitute, I probably would have went for another Nasty Plot. I go for the Psychic, see if hopefully maybe this will actually kill it. He is able to take the hit. He goes for the Ice Beam. He someone take that, but he freezes us. Now, for those at home that don't know how freeze works, unlike all the other status that you've seen happen, freeze, there is a small chance each turn that I can thaw out an attack. Certain pokes do have moves that can be used to unthaw themselves. Azelf does not have any of those moves. And if he does, I wouldn't be carrying them. So, goes for the Nightshade again. Does the guaranteed 50. I do recover the leftovers. I won't be able to live another Nightshade if he decides to go for that. So, I'm just sitting there frozen. I do get the unthaw. I go for the Psychic. So we do get the leftover recovery. And we are at exactly... No, we are 49. So he calls out Black Hammer, the Kyurem Black. Who now takes Toxic level of poison because of the 2 spikes on the field. He does have Terravolt, as you guys saw. At this point, picture like if I'm on the ground as well. So if he did have a ground move, it could hit me. So I go for the Psychic. He does live. I don't know. I think probably 6 HP or something like that. But he is able to kill Kusanagi. Luckily for me, because of the Toxic level damage, he will also go down. At this point, I'm somewhat bringing this back. We're at 3-2 right now. He calls out Shukaku, the Landotherian, essentially like his mascot poke in these league battles. He goes for the Intimidate. It does lower my attack down by -1. He does switch out and goes into Hematite, the Gigalith, trying to kill me by just the Sandstorm damage. Gigalith now taking poison level damage as well. So at this point, you guys already see it. So we're going for our Z move, Hydro Vortex, being boosted by the power of Aqua Tail. This was really more for the Landotherian, but at this point, seeing the Gigalith again brought bad memories. of what happened to Bronzong, so I just went for it. Gigalith goes down. We tied this up 3-3 right now. Now, Mill's speed boost does activate. He's now +1 faster. We'll get faster as each turn goes by. Remember, we are at -1. So Lindo brings out Ironhide. At this point, I know Mill won't survive due to the Sandstorm. I go for the Earthquake, try to do as much damage as I can before the timer runs out. So he goes for the Light Screen. Protect himself from special move. That I can live for one more turn. I'm at +2 speed. I go for the Aqua Tail, which is kind of risky because the Aqua Tail has bad accuracy. But we do get it anyway. He is in the red. He goes for the Rapid Spin. I think it was more to remove the Toxic Spikes, even though I don't think anything left on his side of the field can get hit by it. Oh no, Celebi. Out comes out the Coach R type. Does take damage from the rocks. R break shows up. Like I said, we don't care about that. So he does swap out from Ironhide. Then I go into Shukaku to lower my physical attack down by 1. So we go for the 1,000 arrows. This will kind of force Lando down on the ground. We do recover with the leftovers. We're sitting at about close to half health. So I go for the coil, not more so to reset my attack to neutral, more so to get the defense boost up because I feel that this is carrying a Z crystal, and it is. I believe that's the one for flying types, which would make this Supersonic Sky Strike. This is why I'm kind of hoping the +1 was kind of helpful. But it was not. Coach R-Type goes down. We're down to our last poke. The Sandstorm goes away. Bring us Serenity. We will take damage from the rocks. It goes for the Earthquake. I do eat a berry. I believe that's the Shuka Berry, which weakens ground type damage. So we go for the Hidden Power Ice, which Lando is quad weak to. He does live. The Light Screen did help him out there that he brought out with Fortress a couple turns ago. Goes for another Earthquake, which is enough. Serenity goes down. And we lose this week as well. A 3-0. In my head I kept saying 2-0 for the longest, but eh.
And there goes the battle.
GG's to Lindo, as always. It's a really good match. I don't like the fact that he always makes me think more than I really want to at the times. That puts us at a record of 1-2. I don't know if the game would have played out any different at that point anyway. At most, I could have probably just brought him down to a 2-0 without, if the Light Screen wasn't there for Diancie. But if the Celebi had a grass move, it would have probably killed Serenity instantly, and even then Fortress would probably got rid of her. Yeah, it is what it is. But guys, I do thank you guys for watching. I do highly appreciate it. As always, I have the link below with the YouTube channel link to the league where you can watch. I'm the one who also uploads the battles for every other member of the league throughout the week. This was my week 3 battle, so you can see every battle from week 1, 2, 3, as well as the recap shows whenever we do those once all the battles are completed. So thank you guys. I do appreciate it. Hopefully we'll get that win week 4. Until next time.